Hello, everyone. This is just a fun little snippet conversation for Balisti Babbles. I'm your host, Christy Balisti, and I'm joined once again by my co-host, Mr. Matthew Coyle.
Hello,
thank you for joining
everyone.
me.
Oh, thank you for having me.
My goodness, we haven't attempted to do a Balisti Babbles in a long time.
Long time.
We've gone off on a couple of tangents since then, since now we're doing Frank and Patty. But we have a lot to discuss before we go and see The Last Jedi next weekend.
That's true.
So we decided to have a conversation, and we've been holding back talking to each other because I kept saying, I need to record this so we can attempt to post it somewhere.
Right.
So we have a lot to discuss.
We do.
And you've watched quite a few videos talking about the trailer.
I have.
So I haven't watched them yet, so I'm excited to hear what you have to say.
Okay. I hope it's a different perspective.
Yeah, I think so. I've read a lot of the comics that they came out with, in the canon series, and
oh, cool.
I need to read the books. I've only read one of the books, but they came out with, leading up to The Force Awakens, that series, and now they've come out with new comics and books just leading up to The Last Jedi.
Oh.
So I was like, oh my gosh, I need to read all of these, but I just can't read them fast enough.
That's what I was going to say. That's a lot to keep up with. That's
a
lot.
And they came out with ones that have characters that were just in Star Wars Rebels, which I finally finished the series of that.
You did finish that series.
Yeah.
How was that?
It was great.
Was it?
It took me a while to get into the first season because, I don't know, I tried to watch Clone Wars when it was out, and it was just so, for kids.
It was. I tried to watch that as well.
But Rebels, I really feel like they did a really good job.
Where was that on? Where'd you watch that on?
It's on Disney XD, but I got it from the library.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But it's really interesting, the characters they brought in, and so they've written a whole book about one guy that is only in that no one else knows about. But yeah, I really liked it.
Cool.
So from reading what I've read, I've just got some new theories and
right.
stuff.
Sure you do.
But I'm excited to see what theories you have about what's going to happen in The Last Jedi.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait to see it next week. I'm so excited.
Me neither.
A week from today?
I'm so ready. I wrote down some notes.
Okay,
about what I wanted to bring up. Okay, so why did I write that down? Okay, I remember now. So not only was I reading the comics, but I listened to the audiobooks of William Shakespeare's Star Wars that Ian Desher wrote.
Right.
And I played the clips for you. And they are so good.
They are.
And I highly recommend listening to the audiobooks of the original trilogy because they didn't do the prequels. They didn't make those into audiobooks.
Oh, they didn't? Okay.
Yeah. And I tried to read the books, but they're written as a script, so it's just not as good as much as just listening to it.
Yeah. Gotcha.
But listening to those, he it's basically he used the same script, but Shakespeareized it. And it just brought up some things, he kind of examined what's in there, and it made me rethink. Oh, well, I didn't realize how Shakespearean the drama was, that the family drama and everything.
Yeah,
so it just made me think of some new points.
Okay.
Yeah. So do you want me to bring up my points?
Yeah, of course. Or
do you want to talk about the theories you've heard about Last Jedi?
I don't care. I can start talking if you want.
Yeah, I want to hear yours first because I'm curious.
You want me to start talking? Okay.
Yeah.
So
what was the video you watched?
Here's an interesting point. What do we think about Princess Leia's role? We know about Carrie Fisher.
Yeah.
So
we know that we're gonna.
And the trailer really builds it up that Kylo Ren might be killing her.
But I don't think
so either.
I think they just made it seem like that.
I agree. They did bring up an interesting point about how obviously in The Force Awakens he killed his father.
Right.
And how I think he really thought that he was going to gain. I know you're still upset over that. You're not still fully over that.
Yeah.
I think though he really thought that he was going to gain power from that.
Yeah,
and he didn't.
I think that he thought
he was going to.
That would seal the deal with him going to the dark side.
I will become I think
I will become my grandfather.
Exactly, and I think ultimately that's his goal.
Yeah.
Which
is so fascinating to me.
So fascinating.
Because he says how he's like drawn to the light.
Right, how he struggles with the light and, being fully on the dark side. Yeah.
And we've never really seen that reverse. Like, we've always, I'm drawn to the dark. And with Anakin, like, he was drawn to the dark side. But it's, like, weird to see a character that struggles with going.
Yeah, right, it's a little different.
That wants to be
the so side. Clearly he's got some weaknesses. He's got some personal, demons that he has to deal with. And he's what he's saying in the word choice they used when that scene with Kylo Ren, when he's saying that I have to get rid of the past. Yeah. To make who I'm supposed to be. Something like that. Again, it's like he tried to do it with his father. It didn't quite work out like he thought. I wonder what's going to happen with the relationship with his mother. Yeah. It's just something that I think is going to be very, very interesting to see how it plays out.
Yeah. And I kind of hope that doesn't play out like that, because it's just doing what they did in the first one.
Right.
Of him killing Han.
I hope that doesn't happen either. I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
Totally agree with
that.
And
have they said, like, did they always intend for her character to die in this movie, or did they have to do it because of what happened?
I don't think... I've never heard any of that.
Because I heard them say that she had finished shooting everything. I had heard that as well.
But so I mean, she's a general. I mean, I doubt they wanted to see her go. I'm sure they wanted to see her finish the series.
I mean, maybe we won't see her die in this one.
Maybe we won't. I mean, considering the CGI technology. I mean,
her in Rogue One.
Yeah.
That was incredible.
Or General Tarkin in Rogue One as well. I mean, that was unbelievable what they were able to do. That was
so realistic.
Yeah, it really was.
And they had the benefit of, for Rogue One, like, I think that they did, I mean, she did her own voice and everything, I think.
Yes.
But, I mean, Tarkin, what was his name? George something?
His real name?
Clue. I don't even know who they had play him, but it was incredible.
But they nailed it. I mean, they nailed it with him. Yeah, they got it spot on.
So we definitely think that we're gonna lose Leia.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I think, I don't think they'll try to continue to do that. I'm sure they had to make some adjustments, but
at the very least, I just want to see her and Luke reunite before that happens.
What a good point. I didn't even think about that. I really hope that happens.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, that would be some closure for that series.
Now, speaking of
twins.
Right.
For goodness sakes, they're twins.
Right. Like, they've got to still have that connection.
Sure.
Just a little bit.
Right.
Yeah. So, I do want to bring up one thing about Luke.
Yeah.
I think, or I almost kind of hope that Luke almost, like, turns to the dark side.
Do you now?
And the reason is, if you think about his character arc, if he were to turn to the dark side, I mean, we don't want him to, because, I mean, he's our hero and he's Luke Skywalker. But, like, if you think back to what happened, like, when he's on Dagobah with Yoda and he goes into that dark place and he
faces his fears.
Yeah, and when he beheads Darth Vader, he sees himself.
Right.
And I think most people now look at that, I mean, at the time we didn't know that it was his father, but they just see that he saw himself
right.
Yeah.
It's gone bad.
And he was scared of that's what he could become.
What was going to happen to him.
But what if it's like, that is like inevitably what he could become, is like he could become his father.
Yoda did state.
Yeah.
Luke never truly finished his training.
Right.
I don't believe.
And I want to know so bad how he finished his training. Like,
because Yoda did say, I think something like, if you do not finish your training, you will have the urge.
Yeah, like seduced by the dark side.
Right, exactly.
And even when we see him, when we come back for Return of the Jedi, right? And he comes in and he's like all in black. And he wears black through the whole movie. Point. Like, he could have worn like the Jedi.
What a good point. And he's one
like,
of the few with a green lightsaber now that I'm thinking about it.
Right.
I feel like Qui-Gon Jinn had a green lightsaber. Liam Neeson did in Phantom Menace.
Yeah, I think his was green and then Obi-Wan's was the blue.
And Yoda's is green. Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Of course. Duh.
Yeah.
But Rey's is blue.
Yeah. Well, but
Obi-Wan's...
he has Luke's old lightsaber. That was Anakin's. That was blue.
Wait, so it was Anakin's and then it was Luke's and now it's hers?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Whoa.
Which, I know that everyone loves to think that she is Luke's daughter.
Right.
She is not.
She can't. Everyone wants
if
her to be.
If they do that to us and make it that predictable, I will riot. Because... Yeah. I mean, it's a huge secret. We don't know who her parents are.
Well, I think clearly knowing about her past is one of the biggest question marks.
Yeah, and if they just make it so obvious that she's Luke's daughter or Han's daughter, right? It would make no...
I know you think she's a Kenobi.
Yes.
I can see that. I truly
I think so too.
Kind of with you there.
I don't know
think she
how.
can be a Kenobi.
Or you know what? I think maybe she's like Anakin was like born from the Force.
Right.
Like she just kind of...
balance. She was going to bring the balance back to the Force.
But she's so powerful.
She's clearly so powerful.
More powerful than Anakin, I think. Like, because he didn't have he had the instincts.
That's true, but he didn't have
the
Force
mechanical
abilities.
Yeah, she just has...
Like in the trailer, she breaks the rock.
Yeah.
And Luke's like, what?
Like
the face he makes?
Well, and how she was just able to wield it in the first movie, which I know bothered you.
It did. But clearly there was a reason for that.
Yeah.
Firsthand, I really had an issue with it, and I did. I really had a problem with it. But now that I've had more time to think about it, there's clearly something more going on here.
Well, and I think that even though I don't think that she is Luke's daughter, I think there's a possibility that she was one of the what are they called? The younglings that he was training, and she was being trained.
Yeah.
Because I feel like she's got to have something
already.
And I always thought, because I didn't watch The Force Awakens recently. They did the William Shakespeare's for Force Awakens too, and I listened to that.
Oh.
And multiple times, which is in the movie too, Kylo Ren is like, "What girl? Like, wait, you said there was a girl that was powerful?" And it's almost like he's like, wait. So
he's like a girl.
Yeah, and I mean, although he doesn't bring up anything, but I don't know. It just seems like,
and a lot of her stuff is blurry, and she has a hard time remembering and things like that.
So I think maybe
must be very traumatic.
And I mean, who knows? Maybe whenever we see, I'm hoping that whenever we see Rey and Luke meet, it's picking up right off of that mountain. It's
I think it will. Because
I need to know what he says to her.
She and there's that scene where she's like, I need someone to show me where my place in all of this. Yeah. I think she's talking to Luke. I think she's saying, please teach me. Please teach me.
Yeah.
I think she's trying to level with him. I need someone to show me where I belong in all of this. I think that's her kind of trying to bargain with him.
Yeah.
Just show me some stuff. Super excited for more of Snoke.
Oh, yes.
Super excited.
I don't even remember. Do we see physically more of him in the trailer?
Yeah, you see a shot of his face.
Really?
I think he's torturing Rey at the end of that.
Oh,
I think Snoke is torturing her. I think...
Oh, I'm so ready for him.
I'm so excited. Andy Serkis.
Oh, my goodness.
Andy Serkis.
We love Andy.
We love Andy Serkis.
He is the king of motion capture.
He's the king. He's the pioneer.
And he's such a good actor, too.
He's such a good actor. I seriously think that, obviously, Snoke is going to make a serious...
Yeah.
I think he's really going to try to convert Rey.
Well, because he's very interested in her for some reason.
I think at the beginning of the trailer, he is the voiceover is him.
Yeah.
And he's like, when I first saw you, I saw raw power. I think he's talking to Rey.
Well, because at first I thought that was Luke, but it's not.
It's not. It's Snoke.
Yeah, it's definitely him. Yeah.
Because then it comes back to him and he says something like, something your destiny.
Yeah. I just want to know what he is or
I think
who he is.
Right. I want to know more about him.
we don't, I mean, it's not like he's like the Sith. You know, like, we don't even know if he's a Sith.
Right, like, exactly.
I mean, I'm sure he's part, like, one with the Force, but we don't know what he is.
If he's teaching Kylo Ren,
then
he's
that's
some
true.
Sort of a...
That's true.
I really think, and I think we're really going to see the two of them really struggle about where they want to be. Like, Kylo Ren, if he wants to remain bad.
Like, what if it all...
Or if he wants to go back. Like,
what if it all just switches around and she's on the dark side?
What if she becomes bad?
And he goes back to the light. Like, I don't want it to happen, because...
She would be awesome!
Wouldn't that be incredible?
Oh, she would be awesome.
Because we've never seen a female Sith, like, character, you know? I mean, we haven't really seen a Jedi woman either.
That's
like,
true.
Barely.
Main character.
We've
seen we've seen
right,
it.
and there's
it
like
exists. Like, we've seen it.
And there's like Ahsoka
but,
is
like,
in the shows, but I want to see it. Even if she just kind of like temporarily is part of the dark side.
Right. Oh, I think she's seriously gonna.
Man. And think of the tension if Finn and her like reunite.
Ooh. Oh, how about Finn fighting the captain? I know.
Oh
you're a
my
fan.
gosh. I have
wait.
been waiting for that fight.
I know you have.
Because I was so disappointed that
in the role that she had in The Force Awakens. Well, they talk about it in the trailer that I watched.
And they have the opportunity for her to be the one that's like, traitor, and like fights him when he has a lightsaber, but they're saving it.
They're saving it, clearly.
I'm just glad to know that she's randomly dead.
And they were like, and the scene looks the fire in the background.
And she just she's overwhelms
shining.
him. Like, she is so tall.
Yeah,
I love her.
They were just like the guy that was talking was just like in the trailer that I was watching with the theories. He was just like. He's like, well, I'm so glad that they're finally getting this moment because they literally threw away her role in The Force Awakens.
Yeah.
And they did.
And I thought
she was so cool, and they did nothing with it.
And it was strange how easily she just kind of, like, put down the shield. I mean, she could have just been like, oh, yeah, sure, just, like, shoot me, or else...
And he left her for dead, didn't he?
They threw her in the garbage.
That's what it was.
Trash
compactor. They threw her in the trash compactor.
But she ain't gonna be taken by no trash compactor.
No, she's clearly going to survive and get out of there. Look at her.
I hope we eventually see her take her mask off, because I want to see what she looks like.
Me too. They even described the weapon that she uses. Like, she even has this certain kind of weapon that...
It's like a lightsaber, but not.
Yeah.
It's like a lightsaber gun. Which, speaking of that... going back to Rebels really quick.
Okay.
The kid who is being taught as like a young Padawan Jedi, who's like the main character, he develops a lightsaber kind of blaster that he can shoot, and then it can become a lightsaber. But it's really cool.
In the new movie?
In Rebels.
Oh, in Rebels?
Yeah,
really?
in the show.
Wow.
Yeah. It's really cool.
That does sound cool.
Yeah.
Wow. That sounds really cool, actually.
It's worth a watch.
Yeah.
Like, get through the first few episodes and then it's...
I've seen some tidbits here and there because I know there was a scene where, like, Darth Maul, like, had to face Obi-Wan
yeah, he comes back.
Like an old Obi-Wan Kenobi. Yeah. I was like, okay, this is a cool concept because who doesn't want to see old characters face new characters? You know, like...
It's great.
And also, everyone was so disappointed how quickly Darth Maul was defeated.
Oh, yeah. And like, at least now, it's confirmed that he wasn't killed.
Oh, it was confirmed? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, they just
clearly he was
back
one of
together.
Clearly he was one of the coolest characters that's ever been invented in the Star Wars universe.
And he just so easily was just cut in half.
Yeah, that was, those fight scenes were some of the best.
Oh, my gosh.
Some of the best.
Well, and
they've
said that they didn't give him, like, make his character more lines because, like, the guy that they hired to play him was just...
Could he not speak English, or...
Well, no, I think he could, just he wasn't a good, like, actor.
Yeah.
He was just kind of there to be
stunts.
cool.
Yeah.
And he did his job. He was
So they confirmed
really
that he's not dead, huh?
Yeah, he
Gosh,
it's in the comics.
I wonder if they'll ever... Oh,
well,
comics.
He's dead now.
Gotcha.
I mean, the show Rebels takes place, like in between, oh gosh, let me think. Like 10 years after the Jedi are all wiped out,
Mm-hmm.
it's then. So it's like even before Rogue One. That's where it takes place.
Okay. Gotcha.
So, I mean, and he hasn't been killed, like, in that show, but, like, he's got a couple of comic books.
I see.
And,
Gotcha.
yeah, I bet he would be just too old now.
Yeah, I think so too.
But going back to the Rey lineage,
Yes.
the reason I think that she's related to Obi-Wan is because of her accent.
She's
That's
English.
one of the big things, because I just think it's so fascinating.
Why
that,
would they keep her accent?
Yeah,
when
because
they didn't do it with Finn.
Because Finn has a very thick accent too,
English accent,
and he just talks like normal American English accent.
That's actually a really good point. I forget that you brought that up.
Well, and that's one of the main reasons, because I think that was intentional. Because why? Like, okay,
why would they overlook that?
And why would she have an accent if no one on that planet Jakku had one that she would have like picked up, quote unquote?
That's true.
And if she is a Skywalker or a Solo, they don't have accents. Like,
No.
where did she? I mean, it's a clear accent.
It's clearly.
And they could have easily told her not to use it.
Right.
So I wonder, why is that? And the fact
There's
that
been a lot of English actors in the Star Wars movies.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it,
like
Alec Guinness,
like any big
Ewan McGregor,
and yeah,
Ray.
He's the
or
only
Daisy Ridley.
He's the only one who they let have a British accent.
Wow.
Obi-Wan. I mean, I'm sure that there's others that I'm not thinking of, but not big characters.
No,
you know?
I think you've totally got a point. I
Yeah.
forgot that was a point of yours after we saw Force Awakens. Because
And-
you're so right. Like,
Yeah.
it does make sense.
It's the smallest little thing, but
It
no
is,
one's
but no one
talking
pays
about
attention
it.
to it.
Like, no one.
But it
realizes
makes
it.
sense. Why would they let her do that? Unless
Yeah.
there was a reason.
Yeah.
Because like you said, we know that Finn...
Yeah.
It's Finn, right? Not
Yeah,
Finn.
Finn.
It's Finn.
Yeah.
Because he's got it. I mean, he might even have more of a British accent than
Oh,
she
yeah.
does.
I think so. But
He has a thick accent.
he's not allowed to use his.
Wow. Fascinating.
Yeah.
You're so right.
And the fact that whenever she finds Luke's lightsaber, and it's like Obi-Wan, like, he's in the background, and they like had Ewan come in and like record those lines. Like,
they did.
Why is that? He does like,
Why is that?
whenever she has those flashbacks and stuff.
That's him?
Why would it be Obi-Wan of all people?
You're so right.
I don't know how it could work, because
I think you're right.
I don't know
think
how
you're
he
onto
could have a
something.
daughter that's her age, but I just feel like that's a huge hint that
Maybe
no one's
not even
thinking
daughter,
about.
maybe granddaughter.
Yeah,
Maybe
just
granddaughter.
somehow connected.
Yeah.
And I would love that, because I've always thought that Obi-Wan's like a character
One
that,
of the best
like,
characters.
just a great from start to finish character involved
Throughout the
in
entire
the Skywalker
saga.
and
Yes.
and there's a great comic that shows him like kind of middle age, like whenever Luke is about 10 and he's there on Tatooine, like watching over him, and he has to like not bring out his lightsaber, not do anything with the Force, and just keep it on the DL. But there's like times when he goes and he like helps somebody,
Oh, you're
and
kidding.
he's like trying to resist like not being a good guy, because
Right.
he is, and resist like not helping Luke if he gets into trouble, and it was just
Wow.
really good.
That is good.
I just love his character.
Obi-Wan.
Yeah,
Yes.
he's one of
I
my
agree.
favorites.
I think he's one of the best characters that were created
Yeah.
for the whole entire saga. Yeah.
And I really hope that they make a standalone movie with him.
I do too. I do
would
too.
be great.
Didn't you say that was a possibility?
Yeah, like Ewan,
Ewan said, "I'm on board."
he wants to, and I really think if they did bring him in to do like, I mean, if we find out that Rey is related to him somehow, then they will announce that they're going to make a standalone. And
Yeah, that's a good point.
explain.
They can do it, or they can really
Yeah.
go in depth with that.
Yeah.
I just we saw him as a young like Obi-Wan Kenobi. When he had
Yeah.
like the short hair and that long tiny braid.
Yes.
And then we saw him as an older Obi-Wan. Now he was teaching Anakin and he had the big beard, and it's like, now I want to see him as like Alec Guinness, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
he'll have
And
some
that's kind
white
of
and
what
some
Luke is
gray.
becoming.
I know.
He's gone. We've seen him go.
when
from
I
that.
saw Luke at the end of the Force Awakens.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
he
it
looks
was
just like Obi-Wan.
I was like, yeah, that's immediately what I thought. I was like, he looks like Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
I was like, he looks like a
A
like
Jedi
an old Jedi.
Master.
He looks like a Jedi Master. Yeah.
I just loved it.
Then the music and that sweeping shot.
Oh my gosh.
The ending sweeping shot was maybe
I was crying.
Oh yeah, it was amazing.
I mean, I had a really hard time being joyful after Han was killed. You know this because this is what happened in the theater, folks. So we went and saw it together like opening night, and I knew Han was going to die somehow, but I just was not ready. So he's pushed off that bridge with no railings, and I'm crying, and I'm like, my heart is broken forever. I'm still grieving. So then time goes on, and we finally see R2 and where he's been, and that he's waking up, and Matthew gets so excited. He's like, oh, it's R2, it's R2! And he's like hitting me, and he looks at my face, and I'm like...
She's got the biggest frown on her face.
Yeah, just like, I'm still upset.
She's still so...
And you were like, oh, sorry.
Yeah, I was like,
okay.
Like, she was clearly still very upset about the death of Han Solo.
I still am, but...
Yeah, I don't think she's over it quite yet, but it was rather funny if you were there.
Yeah. I just liked knowing, like, leaving off from the original movies, like, oh yeah, they're still out there, they have a family, they're married, and now that I know that, like, he's dead.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
It just breaks my heart.
Right. It is, yeah, it's heartbreaking.
And it's going to break my heart whenever because I'm sure we're going to lose Leia and Luke in these new movies.
You're probably right, and it is devastating.
Yeah. Makes me sad.
It is sad. But, like, I'm pretty sure that, like, Harrison Ford was like, yeah, I'll do it as long as you kill me.
Well, because he wanted to be killed in the original movies.
Right. Like,
he was
I don't think he wanted
my character needs to die.
Yeah.
What is he thinking? I mean, it would have made an interesting story, but how dare they if they would have killed Han back then?
How dare? Oh,
after everything with the carbonite,
they couldn't have done it. Yeah, they couldn't have done it.
No, but he got what he wanted.
He's one of the best.
Just the betrayal and Chewie watching and I can't handle it.
It was rough.
So sad.
It was rough, and you could feel it coming too.
Yeah. Okay, I have one more thing I wanted to bring up that's kind of funny.
Okay.
So, and this, listening to the Star Wars Shakespeare thing for Return of the Jedi made me think of this.
Uh-huh.
So, I didn't really think about this, but in that movie, whenever Vader dies and Luke's there with him on the ship, he somehow takes his body off the ship and brings it back, and they like burn it down
on Endor.
Yeah, he clearly would have had to like force lift him, his dead father.
He could not have picked him up.
Can you picture it, like him just lifting a dead Darth and just like dragging him off of that ship and somehow getting back to? It just made me giggle, like imagining what he had to do.
Can you imagine?
I mean, thankfully, he could use the Force.
He's like trying to get him something. He's finally just like, oh, forget it. He just like picks up his hand and he's just like, can you imagine?
I don't know why it made me think, like, how did he get him off that ship?
Oh my gosh, that is so funny.
And he must have put his mask back on, I'm sure.
He must have put his mask back on.
Yeah.
Yeah, clearly.
It just kind of made me giggle.
That's a bit of a giggle, yeah. That's a chuckle for sure.
And one thing, that book also made me think about was, how exactly do you think Vader is killed? Like, I know he like lifts Palpatine,
right, and
like the surge of whatever Palpatine's like electrical power goes through him. I think that somehow it like shuts down the machines keeping him alive, and that's what kills him.
Oh, I bet that's what it was.
Because I've just never really thought about it.
I've never really thought about that either.
It's just like, oh well, yeah, that killed him. But I mean, Palpatine was doing that to Luke multiple times, and Luke didn't die.
That's such a good point.
Yeah.
I guarantee it just literally just like shut down. Like,
shut down his... Because it's like, you can hear him like breathing.
He's like, can't do it.
And that would be really sad.
That'd be so sad.
He kind of just like...
He saved his son.
Yeah, he did. Man.
Is Palpatine still alive?
Oh my gosh, no. I mean, he fell into the pit and then the whole thing blew up. Like,
right?
Yeah, he's got to be dead. But I mean, Some people have the theory that Snoke is Palpatine, and I'm like,
right?
Please don't.
It's like, no.
Don't do that to us.
Are you kidding me?
But you know what? When you were just talking about Snoke, I thought, how cool would it be if somehow Snoke, like a younger version of Snoke, was a Jedi that like escaped and wasn't killed in the, and that's who trained Luke in that time, like the time in between whenever he comes back.
Snoke did?
Yeah, like what if Snoke trained him? Like somehow
what if there is a connection between Luke and Snoke?
Yeah, somehow Luke found Snoke and Snoke kind of finished his training.
Wow.
And he didn't know that he was like part of the dark side. What I don't know.
That is so interesting.
Wouldn't that be a cool turnaround? Because obviously Snoke is old as dirt.
Oh my gosh, he's like
just looking at him, and we
like
technically
a dead body.
We don't even know like what size he is because it was a hologram. Like we don't know if he's like Yoda size.
Yeah, right.
Like what if he's like Yoda's species?
Yeah. What if he is Yoda size? What if he's large?
What if he's Yoda?
What if he's huge? What if he's Yoda?
He's Yoda with no hair or ears.
Or green. Yeah.
Or green.
Or green.
And doesn't speak in riddles.
Yeah.
But yeah, he could be giant. He could be like Count or General Grievous size.
General Grievous. Oh, what a weird character. Yeah.
Yeah, he was weird. Very weird.
They talked about the island that Luke was on.
Really?
Apparently, because there's a shot of this tree, and it's like it's like a huge stump of a tree, like the trunk of a tree, and like I guess like he's living in it, and it's supposedly like maybe like where the very first like Jedi temple ever was. That's why he's like.
I think they do something like that in Rebels.
Do they?
Like they go there. It's like a big stone, like a temple.
This might be.
But I'm sure maybe it's not connected. I don't know. Huh.
So yeah.
That would make sense if that's where he is.
Right.
But going back to what I said about how cool it would be if Rey was being trained by him, if that's the case, as soon as he sees her and like knows her name, you'd think he would know who she is. And then right then we're like, oh, well, you are Rey, you're this people's. I don't know.
That's true.
That would make it too obvious. So I kind of hope that he doesn't know who she is.
Me too.
I just want answers right away.
Right away.
And if they wait until the next movie, I will lose my mind.
I will lose my shit.
Yeah.
If we don't know anything more about Rey,
we'll learn more, I'm sure.
We have to. If we don't...
What I want them to announce is that somehow she's related to Obi-Wan. And then they announce right away, oh, we're doing an Obi-Wan movie.
She's turning to the dark side.
Yeah.
Oh, and we're doing an Obi-Wan movie.
Oh, man, to go to the dark side.
Oh, he says... fulfill your destiny.
Ooh, very nice.
Which they said in the trailer is exactly what Palpatine said to Luke before he started shocking him.
Oh.
He said, fulfill your destiny.
Oh, that's a great point.
And they have Snoke saying it to what's-her-face, and clearly he's like torturing her.
Are you sure that he's saying it to her?
She's like in midair. They don't know, but...
Okay.
It's like...
What if he says it to Luke? What if it's a complete turnaround and he's saying that to Luke? Like that would make it the clincher.
I mean, who knows? Maybe Luke is still as powerful as all get out.
Oh yeah, I bet he is.
I mean, Luke was Luke.
I just really think it would be...
Luke brought the balance back to the Force.
Yeah. And I mean, if Rey is as powerful as she is, and she is good, like doesn't turn to the dark side, in order to have that balance, there has to be the dark as well. And if Kylo Ren doesn't have that deep dark in him and he's being drawn toward the light, there has to be a balance.
Right.
What if it's Luke? What if it turns out Luke turns to the dark side and Rey is the light?
Oh,
and Kylo's just kind of hovering in there somewhere between. I just think it would be great.
You just blew my mind with that. I've never thought about that.
Because that would just bring a whole turnaround of him seeing that, like, in himself, him and Darth Vader, and being afraid of that's what he could become, and... I don't know.
Wow, you just flipped everything.
Yeah,
Everything. I mean, you just flipped it all.
We hear him say it, but we don't know that he says it to her.
Oh, we have no idea who he's saying it to.
Yeah.
But they make... You're right. The whole trailer is about misdirection.
Oh, yeah.
They are clearly trying to confuse you.
Mm-hmm.
You're so right.
And, okay, this...
He could be saying that to anyone.
This will never happen, but what if Luke kills Leia? He would never, but what if it happened? That would be worse than when Kylo killed Han.
Devastating.
Yeah.
Devastating.
Yeah. But then, if that did happen, what would happen with Kylo? He would be... I don't know.
Now Kylo's after Luke.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I don't know. I'm just really excited to see what they do.
Me too.
I hope it's nothing that we expect.
I know, me too.
Yeah. And we're definitely going to talk about it after the movie.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We're seeing it Thursday at 10 o'clock.
So literally less than 24 hours from now.
Yeah?
I mean less than...
Oh, yeah, a week.
You know what I meant.
Yeah, yes.
I don't know how many hours are in a week.
25. Too much math.
A lot.
Lots of math.
A lot of hours.
But I think we covered everything that I wanted to bring up. And we've got lots of interesting theories.
I think so too.
I'm going to try to post this on the YouTube channel. And I would love to hear, if you're listening to this, your theories as well. And just to see, what you think of our theories. What do you think? Who do you think Rey's parents are? Everyone has an idea about that. So,
yeah. Let us know what you think.
Yeah, we'd love to hear it. So, thank you for listening. This turned out to be quite an episode, but I love that we got to talk about all of this.
We did, yeah. We wanted to talk about it.
We'll come back after we see the new movie, and we look forward to sharing our thoughts with you.
Yes, we do.
Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now.